everyone, it's Sharona from Hayward Waits, and today I'm going to be reviewing Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 2, which is currently streaming on the Netflix platform. You guys, we are finally here at the final 2 episodes of Season 4 of Stranger Things. I didn't think that I would be able to wait, but we have made it, so we're going to talk about this. But for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, hello, so glad you came, I hope you stay. I'll tell you what I liked about the series, what I didn't like about the series, and is it worth your time or not watching Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 2. So, shout out to Netflix for hooking your girl up with screeners, because I know somebody in the comment section gonna be like, have you watched it already? It's only 3 o'clock in the morning. You guys, Netflix hooked your girl up with screeners. Thank you so much. This is going to be a spoiler-free review, but on Tuesday, after I get back from vacation, we will be doing a Cocktails with Sharona Stranger Things edition. Okay, we're gonna make a little upside down cocktail talk spoilers about Season 4. Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so be there. Okay, just be there because it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a vibe. Okay, so going into what I enjoyed about Volume 2 of Stranger Things. First and foremost, I know that these last 2 episodes were delayed due to the visual effects and then the pandemic delays. And I do want to give a shout out because I do like the decision to hold off on the 2 episodes. Whether or not I agree on splitting them up or holding them all at once, we'll talk about that a little later in the review. But I will say you can truly tell the time and effort that they took to put into the visual effects. And as we get to learn more about Vecna after that huge bombshell at the end of Volume 1, you really get to see those visual effects. They really do pay off. So I do want to give kudos to the VFX teams who worked on Stranger Things Season 4. It looks absolutely stunning. It looks fantastic as we get to see how this world came to be. So I just wanted to give kudos to them because, you know what, I was like, I can see, you know, sometimes when they say we had to take a break, we had to pause this due to working on visual effects. And I was like, honey, like where was the work put in? But when I was watching Season 4, y'all did that, okay? But also still have to say kudos to the music. It will be very interesting to know, like, given the music choices that we have in Volume 2, even though like Volume 1 and Volume 2, the music was banging, I would like to see like how much of the social media discussion influenced the choices, or if these were already locked in before we got to see the audience's reaction to Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 1. I would really love to ask the Duffer Brothers that, like, how much sway did social media play into the musical A and B selections of Volume 2? But that's a story for a different day. But one of the things that truly works for Volume 2 of Stranger Things is the emotional payoff that we actually get to see in the last 2 episodes. There is a lot of emotional payoff. There are so many great performances. The times that I cried, okay, like literally, I tried a couple of scenes. You know, you look up in the air and you try to blink real quick because you try to fight the tears. Yeah, I cried a couple of times. I'm not gonna lie to you. I cried a couple of times. There are some great performances, and honestly, there were scenes in these last 2 episodes where I was just like, yeah, that's the clip that they will play. Like, if they are nominated for an Emmy, like, that will be the clip right there. That's the clip that I would choose for them. And, you know, we already talked about Sadie Sink and the phenomenal job that she did in episode 4 of Volume 1. But she continues to, like, just kill it. Literally one of my favorites of this season, and also one of my standouts in Volume 2. She's just phenomenal at what she can do. And there is an even more heartwarming scene, you know, similar to what we saw in episode 4. But there's still more that Sadie has left to give as Max continues on this journey of really having to reconcile with everything that has happened to her when we were first introduced to her character, and also to the emotional toll that has taken on her with losing her brother and really just dealing with this dark time. We get to see her delve deeper into that character. And I think that Sadie does such a phenomenal job. Also, too, Natalia Dyer, who plays Nancy. Nancy had some good moments. I was like, Nancy, I thought we saw all we were going to see in Volume 1. But honey, in Volume 2, I was like, Nancy, go ahead and do the dang on thing. I was totally here for it. But I do want to continue to give kudos to Millie Bobby Brown, because everything that she does with the character Eleven, you really get to see her arc come full circle of everything that Eleven had to go through in order to obtain her powers. We got to see more of that in Volume 1, of really having to deal with what does it mean to carry the weight of the world literally on your shoulders. And Millie Bobby Brown did such a fantastic job of displaying that, but also these deep emotional connections that she's made with these friends that she has met in Hawkins. There is a scene, there is something that her character says, and I was like, that's writing right, that writing for that scene, if you pick up on it, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. I was like, it was just so good. The acting, just how the dialogue was written, it just has such a good payoff that you just feel like waiting all this time for these 4 seasons. It's been worth it. It's been worth it in the end. But also too, Gaten Matarazzo, who plays Dustin, has a really great moment towards the end of volume 2. But I'm gonna give my gold star. I'm gonna give my gold star to Joseph Quinn, who plays Eddie, who is a fan favorite after being introduced in volume 1. And I really want to give Eddie, I want to give Joseph kudos, because that's something that's really hard to do. And it still goes back into the writing of Eddie's character. Eddie had has a great story arc and has some really cool moments in volume 2 as well. But there is just a charm, a brightness that you get from Eddie's character, the charisma that he has, that Joseph has and brings to Eddie. I really, really enjoy his character. And it's something that's so hard to do, to come into a successful franchise like that, where you already have your fan favorites. You have these kids that you've really come accustomed to in the first 3 seasons. And to be a totally new character and steal the show from some of the original cast members, that is a really tough feat to do. And the fact that Joseph Quinn is able to do that, and so many people have connected to his character, and some of the great, awesome, fun moments that we get to see with Eddie in volume 2, it was just such a pleasure to watch. And to really see, some great character development too, to see where we find Eddie at the beginning of volume 1, to see where we find Eddie in volume 2. That's some great character development right there. Okay, it's some people in this show that ain't had that in 4 seasons, and Eddie had that literally between 2 volumes of 1 season. I thought that was just absolutely amazing. But even though I have so many great things to say, and I do, because I had fun with volume 2, I do have a lot of issues, unfortunately, with volume 2 of Stranger Things. And it really stems from some of the issues that I still have from volume 1. Many of that being a lot of our main characters have been sidelined. And I was really hoping that in volume 2, like, okay, like, it's fine. Volume 2, we got a couple of hours to get the game back together, to get people doing stuff. And I just hate to report that it still suffers from some of the same issues of all of our characters being literally spread across different parts of the world, of the US. It still suffers from that. A lot of our characters are still stuck in these different spaces, and it takes away from our group always has to come together to fight evil. And we do see that in volume 2, but it's done in a different way. And I don't know if necessarily all of these other storylines and having to switch to different parts of the world, I don't know if it necessarily works. And I thought it was something that would fix itself by the end. It would fix itself within volume 2, but it doesn't necessarily do that. And that was a huge issue for me. And on top of that, there is something that they're doing with Will's storyline. I know what's happening. We all see it happening. And it's just like, this is not giving what you thought it was going to give. And it's giving me pandering. And I just feel as though that Will deserves more. Will deserves more than what we see in volume 1 and volume 2 of season 4. It does seem that in season 5, Will have a lot more to do. But where they're going with his storyline, I just don't like it. I don't like it. It makes me sad because I just want more for Will, because like that's a character that I've become attached to from the very first season. Also too, Caleb McLaughlin, he has a really great moment in volume 2 of Stranger Things. But what I will say is there's something that does happen with his character that kind of makes me think of, like, if you look at like colorblind casting, there's certain things that happens to characters, and because they are of a certain race, it just comes off in a bad way. And there's something that happens with Caleb's character, and I'll talk about this more in the spoiler review. There's something that happens that just felt was so unnecessary. And I know in my heart of hearts that they didn't write his character, they didn't want it to come off in that way, but it's something that we continuously see all the time when things like this happen with colorblind casting. When you have a character of color in a predominantly white cast, it just really burned my soul. It burned my soul to watch it happen, and I know that that wasn't the intention behind it, but I still have to shed light on it because I feel like if there's a little bit more care given to characters of color and how we write those characters and how their storylines play out, and because I still feel like Lucas as a whole is kind of underutilized in the series, as well as still Lucas's sister as well. I just wanted a little bit more for the characters. But as I said, Caleb does have a really great moment to shine in volume 2. I just wish that overall it could have been handled a little bit differently. And that's all I'm gonna say about that for right now. But one of the biggest things is because this is split into 2 different volumes and we end off with this big shocking cliffhanger at the end of volume 1, volume 2 kind of felt a little bit like filler to me. And I know as it was explained, the delays of the visual effects and the pandemic delays on why this had to be separated into 2 different volumes. But honestly, having this long wait in between and then seeing what I actually saw transpire, there are fun moments. There are great moments. There is more understanding of what the Upside Down is, what Vecna's role has to play within the Upside Down, and the role that, you know, Vecna has to play with 11. But it felt like there was a lot happening, but not a lot of purpose behind what was happening. So that's why, to me, I felt slightly underwhelmed by volume 2. I'm not gonna lie to you. Things wrap up and you can tell that we're going in a fun and exciting direction for season 5, but I don't know, I felt a little let down. Like, the inevitable happened and what we knew was going to happen in volume 2, but outside of that and a couple of more just full character arc moments that happened, I would say with just a few characters, I don't know. I felt very let down. I felt underwhelmed. And I really hope that in season 5 that we get to see our core cast. And it still makes me question, why did we introduce so many new characters in season 4 if we knew that it was going to lead to our core cast being sidelined? I don't know if I would necessarily vote for that. And I would love to know just the thought process behind it, because we do get cool characters like Eddie. I love Eddie. But I just hate that I got to experience Eddie at the expense of losing out on more character development on characters like Lucas or characters like Will. Or even Mike. I just wish that we could have seen that as well. So for me, overall, as a whole, for season 4 of Stranger Things, I still loved it. I really enjoyed it. I think that they definitely upped the stakes. There are some crazy things that happen with our characters in in season 4. I just really hope that we get back to like kind of how it used to be. I can't say too much because I feel like I'm a spoiler, so let me just stop talking. I'll talk about it more in the spoiler review that we talk about on Tuesday as we do our Cocktails with Sharana segment, delving deep into a spoiler review of Stranger Things season 4 volumes 1 and 2. But these are my spoiler-free thoughts of Stranger Things season 4 volume 2. As always, my name is Sharana from Payroll Waits, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again, bye.